Hi, how's everybody doing? It's Crazy Monkey here again. So I'm going to talk about zoning real quick. Reason why housing, the reason why rents are so expensive in big cities like San Francisco, Seattle, Portland, all these big liberal, leftist cities, the reason why the rents and housing prices are so expensive, part of it is because of massive out-of-control immigration, because that creates a massive housing crisis, which makes the prices skyrocket. But the other reason is zone restrictions. Zone restrictions blocking new development is one of the reasons why the rents and the housing costs are so damn sky high in these big leftist cities. And of course, you know, I know, and hopefully you know by now, that the reason why the liberals, the filthy rich limousine liberals support the zone restrictions is because they're getting rich off of it. You know, they own the apartment buildings, they own the houses for millions of dollars. They're getting rich off the zone restrictions. They're getting rich off the big government socialist restrictions. They're getting rich off of it, you know. And I'm just going to show you some examples real quick. I'm going to show you San Francisco, a really good example. And I'm going to show you why the prices are so high. And I'm going to show you why, if you eliminate the zone restrictions and you build skyscrapers in San Francisco, prices and rents would be way, way cheaper. And let me show it to you right now before my camera battery goes dead. Alright, so here we go. This is Google Earth in the city of San Francisco. And I'm just going to zoom in here. So this is the Richmond district, where my cursor is. My cursor's right here. This is the Richmond district. This is the Sunset district. So where's... Oh no, I think I got them mixed up. Oh no, I believe this is the Sunset, and I believe this is the Richmond. But anyway, we'll just zoom in. And as you can see right here, yeah, this is the Sunset. As you can see right here, we have the Pacific Ocean. This water here, that's the Pacific Ocean. See right there? Right over here, that's the Golden Gate Bridge. That's Golden Gate Bridge. Can't see it, but it's there. Right over here is downtown San Francisco. And right over here, that's the Pacific Ocean. So this is basically a giant beach on the Pacific Ocean. And there's basically just two-story buildings right here. I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show it to you right now. All right, there we go. These are basically two-story houses, two-story buildings for the most part. All right. San Francisco, a long time ago, I can't remember if it was 30 years ago or 50 years ago, they passed a huge zone restriction where they won't allow buildings over, I think it's 30 or 40 feet in most of the city. So most of the city, massive neighborhoods in San Francisco are basically zoned to not allow anything taller than, it's either 30 or 40 foot. It's a height limit, and most of the city has a height limit. It's either 30 or 40 feet. So you can't build skyscrapers in most of the city. And this is one of the areas where that height limit is in effect. And as a result, because that height limit is in effect, most of the neighborhoods, I mean, they all look very uniform. You know, you can just zoom in and zoom out. You can do this on yourself on Google Earth. Just do it yourself, and you'll see everything looks the same. So I'm just going to zoom in randomly into a neighborhood and show you what it looks like. This is very typical for San Francisco. This is very, very typical. This is exactly what your typical San Francisco neighborhood looks like. Each one of these houses is over $1 million, folks. Each one of these houses is well north of $1 million. $1 million each one of these houses. And they're not technically houses. They're technically townhouses because they're connected. They're connected. So technically they're not houses. They're townhouses. And they're $1 million or higher. So a lot of them are $2 million. All right. So you can see it's very uniform. It looks all alike. All right. None of this is architecturally significant. You know, none of this is like beautiful Victorian architecture. You know, none of this needs to be preserved. You know, developers could go in here, they can buy these houses from the owners if they agree, and they can tear these houses down and build skyscrapers. That's what they should do. And then the prices would be much, much cheaper, and the rents would be much, much cheaper. But the filthy rich limousine liberals will not do that. The filthy rich limousine liberals stick to the zone restrictions because they get rich off of it. They own the houses, they own the buildings that exist, and as a result, their price goes higher and higher and higher, and they get filthy rich off the socialism. They get filthy rich off the socialism. And you know, it's ugly. I mean, there's nothing special about these houses at all. There's nothing special about this neighborhood at all. You know, you could easily have 2 or 3 of these people agree to sell their house to a developer, and the developer could build a 10-story building. But again, the neighborhood and the city of San Francisco will not allow that. You know, it's just, liberals are such hypocrites. They're just such hypocrites. And the thing is, you know, whatever happened to property rights, whatever happened to the homeowner's right, you know, if you're the homeowner, you should have the right to sell to a developer to build a 10-story building if you want to do that. You should have that right. Your neighbors should not be able to act like communists and tell you you can't sell your house to a developer. You can't have a 10-story building built on your house's lot. You know, it's just so sick how the liberals, they create the socialist system that benefits them, and then they will not allow any skyscrapers to be built in their neighborhood. They will not allow that. They did a massive zone restriction to block all buildings over, it's either 30 or 40 feet in most of San Francisco. And this neighborhood's one of the neighborhoods that's included, where they cannot build over 30, 40 feet in this neighborhood. That's why you see everything is so small in this area. Everything is so small. And in most of San Francisco, this is how it looks. Most of San Francisco looks like this. Most of San Francisco is not Victorians. Most of San Francisco is not beautiful buildings. It's ugly. Most of San Francisco is, believe it or not, is a fairly ugly city. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. Most of San Francisco is an ugly, ugly city that looks just like this. And these houses are $1 million and up. Most of the houses on this street are over $1 million, because all the houses in San Francisco, most of them are over $1 million. And, you know, I just want to say to the liberals, the snobs that live in these $1 million houses, all you liberal, leftist, limousine, leftist liberals with your wealth privilege that live in these $1 million houses that support zone restrictions, you know, I just want to say this. If you want to live in a single family house that's 2 stories tall, and you want it to stay like that forever, so if you live in one of these houses and you want it to stay like that forever, that's perfectly okay. When the developer comes knocking on your door, just tell the developer no. Just tell the developer no. And I am totally support you keeping your house the way you want it, keeping it 2 stories if that's what you want. I totally support your right to do that. You know, do I support eminent domain that would tear your house down and just pay you $1 million and tear your house down? No, I don't support that. No, I don't support that at all. I support you as the property owner having the right to keep your house 2 stories if that's the way you want it. If you want your house intact the way it is and you want to keep it that way forever, that's perfectly okay. It's your house. You own it. You have the right. But what I am vehemently against, is you fucking communist, telling all your next door neighbors that they can't build a 10-story or 20-story skyscraper, that they got to be just like you, a good little commie just like you, and they got to have their house 2 stories just like you, and they can't do nothing about it. You know, that's what I'm vehemently against. I'm vehemently against all you fucking liberals acting like a bunch of fucking communists and using socialism to basically get what you want and make a ton of money, and then blocking your neighbors from doing what they might want to do because they want to do it differently than what you want to do. You know, I just think it's sick.